This is the first in a series of videos designed to help you in the adventure of learning how to use a sophisticated industrial strength computer-aided design tool called NX. And what I think you'll find as you go through the videos, go through the class, and master the materials that are taught, that this will open up some exciting new opportunities for you, because what you'll see is that you can take ideas that you have in your mind and translate them into actual physical objects. And then to take those objects and combine them into working devices, working machines, and things of that nature. So I hope you're ready to go, and I think this will be a worthwhile investment of your time and effort as we go through this class. So to start, we are going to invoke NX. The version we're using is NX12, and when you invoke it, you should see a screen that looks like this. We want to create a new file, so we could either go to File, select New, or if you could see in the upper left-hand corner, we have the icon for New, so we can just click on that to select a new file. Now, once we select the option of creating a new file, we're presented with a window that shows us a plethora of different options pertaining to the types of files that we can make. We're going to stick with the default for now, the model type of file, and we're going to use units of millimeters at this point. And you can see that we can select either millimeters or inches for the units to be used in our drawing. At the bottom, there may be a default, or probably will be a default directory that is not going to be accessible, so you'd want to change that to something you can access. I selected the desktop for now, but any directory that you have access to will be fine. You can change the name of the model, but for now I'm just going to leave it as is and click OK. And it'll take a few seconds for the tool to accept those inputs, and we'll be presented with this blank gray colored screen. Now on this screen is where we're going to create our three-dimensional objects, and the way we do that is we start by making a two-dimensional sketch. So if you see under the File tab up in the upper left-hand corner, we have a selection for Sketch. So if we left-click on Sketch, we will be presented with a window that now asks us if we want to create a sketch on a plane or on a path. We're going to stick with the plane for right now. And then we're also allowed to select which plane we want to sketch on. And since it's a new file, our options are the XY plane, the YZ plane, and the XZ plane. Any one of them will do for now. So I'll select OK. And you see now that the coordinate system orients itself to present us with the plane that we'll be sketching on. So just simply to do something simple to start with, I'm going to make a simple rectangle, and then after making that, I will extrude it into a rectangular prism. When I clicked on the rectangle tool, left-clicked, and I'm presented with a few options here for the rectangle tool. I can create a rectangle by 2 points, I can create a rectangle by 3 points, or I can create a rectangle from center. There are 3 different ways of doing it. So I'm going to leave it with the first option by 2 points for now. When I select that option, basically I'm going to left click to start the rectangle and left click again at the end of the rectangle. Just to note, as I move the cursor around, you might notice that the little X and Y coordinates are also changing. As I move to the right, the X coordinate increases. As I move to the left, the X coordinate decreases. Move up, the Y coordinate increases. Move down, the y coordinate decreases. So I'm going to just pick an arbitrary point for now. I'm going to left click. So I left clicked and released, and now I'm not holding any mouse button down. I'm just moving the mouse around. And you see as I move it up, the height change, it gets smaller. Now, of course, once I go past my starting point, it will get larger. If I move it right and left, you can see the width changes. So once I get this rectangle to the size I want, I just left click, and now I have a rectangle. Alternatively, I could select a point, and then I can enter the dimensions that I want. So say I wanted a rectangle that was 60 millimeters wide by 80 millimeters high. So I hit 60, and then I hit tab, hit 80, hit enter. And so the rectangle is, all the information has been entered, but it has not really been finalized. It won't be finalized until I left click with the mouse. So I left click with the mouse, and now I have a rectangle. So for the purpose of this exercise, I don't need both of the rectangles. I'm just going to delete one. I'm going to left click and drag. Oh, first I got to close the rectangle tool out. Left click and drag, highlight the one I want to delete, and then press the delete button, and that rectangle is gone. So I've got the rectangle I want. I've got the sketch that I want. I'm going to finish this sketch by left clicking on the checkered flag up at the left, and now I'm going to extrude it. So extruding basically allows me to give thickness to this object that I created. When I click on extrude up at the top, a new window opens up, which allows me to select the curve that I want to extrude and to specify the direction in which I want to extrude it. Now, in NX terminology, a curve is not necessarily, normally we think of something that's curved as something that's sort of circular or semicircular or oval or has some kind of an arc to it. With NX, even though the whole sketch consists of straight lines and right angles, it's still considered a curve to NX. So we're going to select this sketch as the curve, and now you can see that some thickness has been added, 2 millimeters to be exact. Maybe I want it to be 2 millimeters and I could just come over here and click OK, or maybe I want it to be something more. Maybe I just want to look at it and say, yeah, that looks good. Just arbitrarily, that's the size I want. Or maybe I want to be more specific. Maybe I think it should be 17 millimeters high. So I can come over here and select the distance, the end distance in the extrude window. You see there's a start distance. So here's the start distance. Here's the end distance. So start distance is at 0. So I can select the end distance and maybe just say that's going to be 17. Type it in, hit enter, click OK, and now I have created a three-dimensional object. This is one of two ways that we can create three-dimensional objects in NX. The other is by using something called a revolve tool. The revolve tool is found right in the same area as the extrude tool. There's a little down pointing arrow under the extrude tool. If I click on that, left click on that, I can select the revolve tool instead, and so I could revolve the curve, and we'll cover that in an upcoming video. So that's it for this one. Hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoy all of your future endeavors with NX.